school na. Kaya naman we have a very special program ngayong hapon na ito. Kasama natin si Carolina San Juan. Siya po ay isang first-generation college student who went on to receive her PhD in Culture and Performance at UCLA. She specializes in the K-12 pipeline to college. Today, we are talking to her about our children going back to school and how we as parents can support them on their academic journey. Carolina, Professora, thank you so much for coming back here.
Of course, I love seeing you.
Thank you. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
And let's talk about, as Filipino Americans, we always get this confused, okay? First gen, second gen. Can we spell it out to kababayans? Kasi marami akong nakikilalang mga kabataan that they call themselves first generation, and when I ask them, oh, so you were born in the Philippines, where? They're like, no, I was born here. I'm first generation from America. And I don't want to correct them.
Sure.
But can we correct them?
Okay, I will correct them since I am the teacher.
Yes, you're the professor.
Yes, and you will engage them.
Yes, because it is confusing.
It is confusing. So in academics, what the way we differentiate is that those who were born in a different country and immigrated to the U.S. are first generation because they are Americans. So I'm second generation because I was born of immigrants, right? So, but if I say I'm first, does that mean my parents are zero? Because they're still Americans, right? They live and work in America, they buy property, they raise their families in America. So they're just as American as you or I are, but they're the first generation of Americans to the U.S.
Okay, so when you say first generation college student, which you are, what does that really mean?
It's the first person in your family to go to college.
I see.
Right. So because I'm a child of immigrants, I'm a second generation Filipino American, but a first generation college student.
Interesting. Yes. Okay, thank you for spelling that out for me.
Sure.
It's very important that we understand the terminology, because I was born not even in the Philippines, right? But I migrated here, so that makes me
kind of 1.5.
1.5. Okay, and the 0.5 is when you come at an early age?
It's when you do some of your elementary schooling in your country of origin.
Okay.
So you're 1.5. Because your development, your identity, your cultural identity is 2 places.
Yes.
So you're 1.5.
Got it.
Which is why you do Kababayan Today.
That's right.
Right.
Okay, because it's an understanding of both cultures, right? Okay. So now that school has started for a lot of our children, we have a lot of Filipino Americans that have, children that are growing up in America that are very American.
Yes, they are.
And that's okay.
Like our children.
Yes, our children are very American.
Right. My daughter is third generation.
Yes, my daughter is second generation.
Right.
Right. How can we understand and give them the tools to succeed in academics, being that we don't necessarily have the template to do so, because the way we grew up was a very traditional sort of parenting with our first generation parents.
Right. And it's very, it's based on a hierarchy. Like someone is in charge. It's called a deficit model, where the teacher has something and the student doesn't have something. And I guess the way you would visualize it is somehow I would open your little head and pour in this information, and now you're a better person. And that's a very old model, right? And so, and what it does is it lessens our children's confidence in what they know and what they experience. And a real education is to know yourself and how you fit in the world. And that's what we should really be giving our children.
Okay, how do we give that to our children, right?
I made a list.
Okay.
I made a list, and I think a lot of the traditional advice is arrive early.
Yes, makinig sa teacher.
Yes.
Wag sasagot.
Yes.
Diba? All these things that as a Filipino you're told again and again.
Right.
Study hard.
Right.
Get good grades. Don't answer back.
Right. And all those things make our children very obedient and creates an atmosphere where they don't feel like they can think for themselves, which is an American value. right? The American value is to be an individual, to assert oneself, to think on your own. And you see how these conflict.
Absolutely.
And our children get mixed messages, and they get very frustrated.
Yes, because let's face it, as a Filipino, you're told to keep your head down, work hard, don't complain. It's a very Asian thing.
Yes.
Right? Okay, here on Kababayan Today, we are talking about how we can prepare our children to be the best that they can be as an individual here in America, despite the Filipino culture and values that we have. Magbabalik kami, kasama natin si Profesora Carolina San Juan.